Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. So we are discussing Surah Al-Baqarah, and we had discussed the verses 8 all the way down to 13, maybe even 14 yesterday. So today we will discuss the rest of those verses in this page, the second page of Surah Al-Baqarah. As I mentioned yesterday and previous nights, those verses, scholars in general believe that those verses talk about the munafiqeen, the hypocrites, because it describes certain features that normally are the features of the hypocrites. And by virtue of these features and actions, they deserved the punishment that is mentioned in these verses, such as في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا. Their hearts are full of disease and Allah increases their disease because of their lies. يكذبون يخادعون, deception, lying, creating mischief. وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض, their behavior and conduct is that of those who create mischief and corruption. And لا تفسدوا في الأرض, al-ifsad, the definition of ifsad or corruption, according to the Quran, if you look at all the verses that talk about corruption, basically anything that goes against the oneness of Allah and the legal system that is built upon the oneness of Allah Azza wa Jal, which means basically the Sharia and the laws, the legal system that is revealed in His book. Any kind of going against this kind of law of Allah Azza wa Jal in action or belief is ifsad, it is corruption. So they also go against the commandments of Allah Azza wa Jal, and they ridicule the believers rather than taking them as examples when it is said to them, believe such in the same manner that other people have believed in Allah Azza wa Jal, and to embrace the whole religion. They would ridicule people, the believers, and say, should we believe like the foolish people believe? So they basically they do not honor Allah Azza wa Jal by the fact that they try to deceive Allah, thinking that they may deceive Allah or may be successful in deceiving Allah. يخادعون, and that they do not honor the belief in Allah and the arkan al-iman. They feel that whoever embraces those articles of faith are foolish. So it's clear kufr here. And then also they ally with the enemies of Allah and the enemies of the believers. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا. When they meet the believers, they say, we are believers just like you. We are just with you completely, wholeheartedly. وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ. But when they hold secret councils with their devil partners, those devil partners basically are people who are openly, like the open kuffar, who are openly against Allah and His religion. قالوا إنا معكم إنما نحن مستهزئون. In reality, we are with you, not with them, not with the believers. And then they explain why do they associate with the believers at times. They say إنما نحن مستهزئون. We're just making fun of them. We're just deceiving them. So, but you have to believe that we are with you. We are with the disbelievers. Then Allah says, Allah يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون. In the same manner that they deceive the believers, Allah Azza wa Jal treated them in the same manner by giving them a false sense of security. Just like they gave the believers the false sense that they are with them and they have their back and they are supporting the believers, but in reality they are the real enemy from within. Allah treats them in the same manner. He gives them the same sense of security. There is no punishment for them in this life, like at least in the legal Islamic system. Like how did the Messenger ﷺ treat the hypocrites? Nothing. He treated them like in all other believers. There's no difference whatsoever. He never applied any kind of worldly penalty on them. Also, Allah gives them respite in this life. They think, oh, we're doing all these things and nothing is happening to us, so we are safe. So they get this false sense of security, and they keep going in the same direction, the evil direction, and they keep accumulating more and more sin and more burden, that eventually when they meet Allah Azza wa Jal, or even if Allah seizes them in this life somehow with worldly punishment, it will be very severe. Or when they meet Allah, then there's no way out of that punishment. And that is the meaning of Allahu yastahzi'u bihim. Istihza in Arabic means mockery. So Allah, just like they try to mockery with deception, something like this. So just like they gave the believers a false sense of security, Allah gives them this same false sense of security that leads them deeper and deeper into evil and deeper into punishment. وَيَمُدُّهُمْ فِي طُغْيَانِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ. They keep going in their evil ways. يَعْمَهُونَ means blind, not realizing the evil that they're doing anymore. Allah says in the Quran, أَفَمَنْ زُيِّنَ لَهُ سُوءُ عَمَلِهِ فَرَآهُ حَسَنًا. Should I tell you about those people whom I have made their evil actions beautiful in their eyes? So that is a kind of punishment. Because initially when the person does something evil, he feels remorse on the inside and he senses that he's done something wrong. But if he persists and insists on following the same way, it becomes normal for him. Actually, sometimes it becomes good in his eyes. He feels that he's actually doing something that is beneficial. Just like they said, إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. We are the ones who are doing the good thing. By this attitude that we've adopted, we are doing the right thing. So they actually feel like this. They actually believe, and they come to a state that they actually believe that they are doing the right thing. Allah says in the end of Surah Al-Kahf, قُلْ هَلْ أُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. Should I tell you about those, the greatest of losers in their actions or their deeds? الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ. They have gone astray in this life. فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. Whilst they think that they are doing the right thing. That is really one of the worst punishment that can befall anyone in this life, because such people never try to correct their ways. They keep going and going and going until the evil fate that they will meet one day. As long as the person is being awakened by Allah, whether internally or externally, then he is good. إِذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ بِعَبْدِهِ خَيْرًا عَجَّلَ لَهُ الْعُقُوبَةَ فِي الدُّنْيَا. If Allah wants goodness for a slave, He will remind him with punishments in this life, one after the other. وَلَنُذِيقَنَّهُم مِّنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. So they may go back. And then finally Allah says in verse number 16, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرَوُا الضَّلَالَةَ بِالْهُدَى فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. Those people are the ones who bartered away or sold away the guidance and bought in exchange for it evil and error and deviation. So which means that the guidance was at hand. They had it in their hand. It's easy. They could have just believed in Allah and looked and used their common sense and followed their fitrah, the natural inclination, and listened to the verses of Allah and ayat and signs of Allah Azza wa Jal, which would have been the easier way to take. But they chose actually to give away all this and to purchase something that to change their original state of being inclined to worship Allah and showing gratitude to Allah to being the exact opposite. And that's a process that takes time. They have to have gone in this way for years and years and years to reach that state. So basically they have made this kind of deal or trade by selling away guidance and purchasing evil and error. فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. The deal that they have made will not produce any gain for them, and they are not on a straight path or not guided. So this ends verse number 16.